3, 2, 1, go.
Right at the beginning of the movie, we will see Paul reluctantly training with Gurney Halleck. Gurney tries, a bit like we do sometimes with teenagers, to warn him, to wake him up.
It's rude.
When you first see Gurney with Paul, it's more of a professor-teacher thing, where you're seeing moves. You're in this place where you're like, okay, you're supposed to be tat, 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 tat.
That's what we shot first. Those were my first 3 days. And on those days, Josh was captain, you know, had done combat sequences like that. And true to the nature of the scene, he's the weapons master. So he took the lead.
Oh, man.
Roger Yuan was the choreographer who came up with most of the movement in Dune.
Gurney is coming in kind of playfully and yet wanting to teach this young man that where he's going, it's serious. And so the training sequence, it's a choreographed set of the basic blocks, but which are functional in real-world fighting.
You have to combination of very fast move, a bit like a chess player that does several moves in advance in order to kill the king. It's the same thing.
Guess I'm not in the mood today.
Mood? What's mood to do with it?
And once Timothy's character says, I'm not in the mood, that's where it becomes a real fight.
You fight when the necessity arises, no matter your mood. Now fight!
It's a cross mix between martial arts and fencing, where you do a certain amount of movement to distract the opponent in order to be able to bring the blade inside his shield.
The slow blade penetrates the shield.
So it's very fast pacing, close combat, very precise, using hands, both hands and knives, in order to be able to kill the opponent. It's a very specific technique that belongs to Dune.
Now you can take it away and just send it.
Okay, so if that is, you mean like that?
Yeah. The Atreides system I based on a Kali and a specific style of Kali, Balintawak, which is very, very short movements because their blades are shorter. So it adapts to that type of weaponry. Depending upon the character and also the actor that is brought in, I would love to make sure that their specific abilities physically are being utilized. What was their background? Even if it's not martial arts, do they understand tennis? Do they play soccer? And try to, in their training process, relate to them in that way first, and then kind of slowly guide them along and go, okay, this is how we do it in fight world now.
It took a while, but learning kata fighting with the sticks, you know, and filming myself and then looking at it and actually learning from it and saying, oh, I see I'm too far forward and I need to stand up more, and things clicking along the way.
Josh is great. I had a great time with him, personally, as well as showing him the choreography. Because you want to show the effect of the sword going in, let them drop to their knees, and then decide to cut.
It's a fight that was very difficult for me to learn because I'm just more, I mean, look at me, man. You know, it's like there's no, you know what I mean? The silverback. So I pushed myself very, very, very hard.
Roger Yuan, we worked very hard together, and I have big gratitude to him.
Timothy was great. He had a little bit of a background in Taekwondo. He's got a dance background, so he has a wonderful memory for choreography. I said, look, do everything slow motion. Let your body feel connected so that it's not just a mechanical movement of arm and shoulder. It's that your whole body and your mind and intent of what you're doing, that's combined. Then we can go into doing it fast.
It was quite beautiful to see them evolving through time and to be able to achieve that kind of level of mastery.
I have you. But look down, my lord. You're to join me in death. I see you found the mood.
What would you do if your ornithopter went down out here?
You wouldn't want to go down out there. It's worm territory.
Spice is to Dune what oil is to our world. The sandworm goes in the deep desert and attacks the spice harvester because they are territorial beasts and they want to protect the spice fields.
The harvester's like a rolling factory. We always started designs on what would it really look like. Like if you were really on a futuristic planet full of sand dunes and you had to extract something that was embedded in sand and filter it through, how would you really do that? The challenge was to make that look interesting. I didn't want this to be an oil rig with tank treads on it. When I first started with this harvester, Denis asked me, how would it be extracting the spice? How is it moving? Is it crawling on legs like a spider? Is that too futuristic? Is it working on treads? One of the hardest parts of my job is to making something look interesting.
I think we were all expecting that it was going to be 120 degrees and it was going to be miserable, and we're in these still suits and these rubber suits and you're just dying and you're running out in the middle of the sun, and it wasn't. It was very mild and it was fun.
It was pure fun because at the end of the day, that is the moment where Paul will be for the very first time of his life in contact with the deep desert and will strangely feel home.
Go, 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 go!
There was a moment Paul was kneeling in front of the spice harvester, and he wanted the kneeling in front of it to be really specific.
Denis is incredibly conscientious about everyone and about the performers and checking in and making sure things are working well. He just knows how to bring the best out of them.
Come on, let's go!
The sequence has to be very carefully timed, and there's a big consequence if you hold on to a shot for too long. It's, you know, the dollar signs start going up. We very carefully crafted that. It was a collaboration really between me and Denis, but also with Sam Hudecki, the storyboard artist, that we would compare notes and try and kind of get the thing in really good shape.
The scene where you see Paul and Gurney on the back of the ramp, and they're like watching the worm take the spice crawler. They're actually on the ramp, and we actually pulled the ornithopter up on a crane.
It's a scene that required a lot of choreography, a lot of time of shooting, but honestly, those are my favorite thing because it's a sequence that doesn't rely on dialogues or something. It just relies on cinema and the power of the images, and we had great time shooting that.
Roll sound.
Duncan Idaho is one of the greatest sword master in the galaxy.
Duncan is who you want by your side when you're in the foxhole.
Jason Momoa is a beast. He do his fighting sequence like a dancer.
Ready?
Bang low, go.
There you go.
He loves to fight. He loves the choreography. I think it's his favorite part. At one point, Duncan was trying to save the Duke, Lady Jessica and Paul. He fails. He arrives too late. But it's the moment where we will witness for the first time Duncan's fighting skills that are closer to the samurai, and it's a choreography that had been done by Roger Ewan.
Jason came in. He's got a fight background that I recognize.
Now, that's a cut right there, and then you're pinning into the arm. So this is the catch.
He trained with Chad Stahelski, who's a good friend of mine.
Jason Momoa is Duncan Idaho. He's just an ass kicker.
The big fight is about 19 stuntmen. That's at the same time, which I've never done before. fought a lot of dudes, but not like they're all in a hallway. We've spent a lot of time training for it. And then into the so if you have a guy come in, block,
I realized, okay, this is just about fine-tuning. He knew what techniques that he liked to do, what he's comfortable doing, what stances, and I tried to match it in.
Roger had a certain technique that he brought in, and there's some collie moves that I've never really done before. There's a lot of things I can't do in this movie that only stuntmen can do. That's what's so special about them. They risk their lives for the craft, for the art, for myself.
Denis really wanted to see romantic moments that harkened from the past. And so this is why he's chosen a sword-based weapon. There's something heroic and interesting about that.
Slide the camera left right there.
That good there?
Sorry, God.
That's good there.
Duncan is crazy, passionate, and somebody that Paul really looks up to and wishes he could be.
Duncan, no!
His energy is also contagious on set, off set.
Who loads the door?
These are guys that have worked all over the world, so they know how to bring an energy.
Right.
Okay. All right, shooting. Roll sound.
Rolling.
Smooth, Jay, you got it. Speed. Set. And 3, 2, 1, go.
My love was death. At night, looks after the family, and I was honored to play the role. It's really cool because Denis doesn't really get to do those kind of action pieces, and so to see the excitement and like things that necessarily that I've done, but it's through his lens, through Greg's lighting. When I go and look at it, I'm like, wow, just a total different experience, which is beautiful.